Hello guys, Alan here and welcome to the final part of our Revit in detailing series, and this is just going to be the final part, so we are just pretty much just going to wrap up with everything that we studied so far concerning detailing inside of Revit. Alright, so I'm just going to wrap up with everything and we are just going to do some sample detailings and we'll call it off on our detailing in Revit series inside of the Revit software. So before I get started, if you're watching this video and you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, you haven't liked this video or you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do make sure you do both. All right, make sure you do both of these two things. Make sure you like this video and then please do make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's going to help me out a lot so we can reach out to probably thousands of people all over the world and we can both get in sync into the Revit software and probably learn absolutely everything inside of the Revit software. So please do make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and you can share my channel to other Revit lovers as well. Maybe you know people who are finding challenges inside of the Revit software. You can share my channel to them and they would probably understand the Revit software in a month. Trust me guys. So I'm going to get started here. I'm not going to waste much time, so we are going to get started with a little bit of detailing. I'm just going to do a sample detailing and then call it off on this Revit detailing series. We start off a new series as well, so let me just see what we can do. So let's say I did want to create I didn't do the floor slabs right beneath that actually, so I think I did it for the first floor but I didn't do that for the floor beneath. Alright, so now let's say I did want to create a detail of, let's say, the flooring with this wall here. Enough with the parapet. I'm kind of getting tired with the parapet call out details and all of that. So let's say I did want to create a detail here and also create we are just going to do some sort of like a detail in there. Yeah, we are just going to do a little detail in there. So I'm going to head straight into the section and let's say section 2 in here. Okay, I think I'm fine with this section in here, and we're going to do a simple call out. So all you need to do is go into your view tab and you just click on your call out in there, and this time we are not going to reference the view actually, so I'm just going to do a simple call out, let's say this way. Alright, this way, and that's it. So our call out is out in here. Right beneath the section we have our call out in there, so I'm going to click on the call out to open that view out and let's see what we have. Let me expand this a little bit. Let me expand it to somewhere around here. Alright, okay, so this is fine. So we're just going to do a simple detail of the connection in here, and we're kind of like going to do a detail for the ceiling as well. Now you notice that with the ceiling in here with my section 2, I had this ceiling here with this ceiling hangers in there, which I drew with my detail lines. Alright, so you notice it's not appearing in here because the call out views are always going to pick out the model views. Alright, it's not going to pick out the items where it's been drawn by your annotation tools or by your detail lines. It's always going to pick modeled stuff in there. Alright, so we have this simple call out in here which I'm going to be detailing out now, and I do want to hide this elevation line in there, so just EH on my keyboard and to hide that out of there. So I have this in here which I'm going to detail out, and this is perfect. Alright, so we are going to start off now. So what we want to do now is we can go straight away into annotate, and we will have to bring in some detail components. Alright, so we just have to click in here and then we go straight into our detail components, and we are going to load in some details in there. So with this I would want to make sure I get into the metric system, so I'm going to move out of here and get straight into English, and also make sure I find all of that in there, and detail items. So detail items, and we have all of these detail items in here. So we have one for concrete, we have site work, and we have general. And under the general, we have the brick line. I think I've used this in the part 3 of this series. Okay, so I'm going to get back out of there, and we are going to find let's just find something. I think I'm going to go with the concrete, and I'm going to go with precast concrete. I'm going to go with the reinforced concrete for the floor slab I have in there, and just click on that, and let me just change this into the thumbnail to actually see what I'm working with. So this is not going to work for me. Let me just get back out of there, and let me change this to list, and still get back into concrete, and cast in place concrete, structural concrete. Okay, all right, so this is going to work for me. M concrete beams top, and this is just M concrete. All right, so I think this is going to work for me for my detail, so I think I'm fine with this. M double T joist side. All right, so I'm going to use this one. All right, guys, so I'm going to use this one for our detail in there. So I'm going to click on that, and then just load that inside of the software. So we have this loaded up inside of the software. So I'm going to go straight into edit type, and with the width, I'm going to want to change that to the width of my floor slab I have in there. And with the depth, I think I'm fine with 300, and also with the depth, I think I'm going to do the same 150, and just hit on apply, hit on OK. And I'm going to start off somewhere around here. So just hit on space bar, just escape out of there. Let's start from somewhere around here. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to pull this to somewhere around here. All right, so we've drawn out that detail in there, and we can still create a material legend where we can actually use this detail for our series. All right, for this detail we are having in here, so we can just create a material legend, and then we can use this detail component we have in here for the legend for this detail. So we have this in here, and I think I'm going to want to do an installation button in here. So I'm just going to click on that installation button for my wall, and with this I'm going to keep this at, let's say, I'm going to keep this at 80, and this is fine. So I'm going to start off somewhere around here, and just bring this to somewhere around down here, and also come and continue somewhere around here, probably the same line in there. So I'm going to move this to also come and meet with this stuff. I think it's going to end somewhere here, because we are going to have a lintel beam right on top in there. So I'm going to end it somewhere here. Yeah, we're going to have a lintel beam right on top in there. All right, so we have this in here. We are also going to have a beam also right on top in there, so we can just move this somewhere around here. All right, so this is perfect. We have this in there, and I want to create a detail for the finishes on the front in there. So just click in there, detail component, and load family. And after the load family, we can just click on back, and let's go back, and let's go back once again, and detail items. I'm going to change this to list, and you're going to use, let me just get back, finishes. And okay, let's draw out the ceiling also, acoustic ceiling, and let's just see what we have in there. Okay, I'm going to do with this one, so I'm just going to take this one out and also load that inside of our software, and we are going to start somewhere around here and drop that here. All right, so we can select this, and we can just increase the length in there. So with the length, I think we can just do maybe 3000. Hit on apply and OK in there. All right, so we have a ceiling in here, which is, this is actually representing our ceiling for the floor below in there. All right, so this is how you can do the detail. All right, so you just have to make sure you understand the detail you're having or you're doing in there, and then you just go straight ahead into the detail components, and then you get straight into load family, and then you can load in those details that you need inside of the software. So this is how you can do that in there. So with the flooring, and I'm going to go with wood flooring, and let me just see what I have in here. So So you notice I usually change that to thumbnails to actually see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to load this in, and I'm going to do this for this floor slab right here. So I'm going to bring this somewhere here. Alright, so this is going to serve as the flooring in there, and with the thickness, with the width, I'm going to also change that to 3 meters. Hit on apply and OK, and then you notice it stretches in there. So we have the wood flooring in there, and we can just do some small skirting in there for the wood flooring as well. And we need to do some finishes also in here, and also show in the beam detail in there. So this is how you can do this. So this is just pure concrete. Now in where I come from, my part of the country, anytime we want to show reinforced concrete floor slabs, we usually do them with a solid fill hatch. All right, so we usually don't do this. We just go ahead and do the solid fill hatch. So sometimes I just go in here to the field region, and when I head straight into the field region, I just come in here, click in there, and let me just escape out of there. So get in here and go into the field region. All right, then I just usually change and use the solid black, and just use this dark color. This is what we use to represent our beams, and also we also use that to represent our floor slabs as well, the solid fill hatch. So I can use this in there, and this is going to serve as the beam for this detail in there. All right, the lintel beam, the beam that is going to hold the slab beneath, and we have a lintel beam also coming right on top in here as well. All right, so we need to also do our ceiling hangers and noggins in there for this ceiling as well. So this is how you can do them. All right, I'm not going to waste much time on this. So what you can do is you can always use your detail lines also, and then you can come in there and then you can draw out. Wait, we are using the Allen line style. We need to change that, and you can just come in here, use your detail lines, and then you can draw every single detail out you need in here. All right, so you can just use those detail lines, and then you can draw them out as well, and just bring this somewhere around here, and also bring this somewhere around here. So we have this in here, and we can just draw out those details in there as well using your installation button. And if you need any installation also inside of your ceiling, you can also use the installation button to also detail out all of those stuff in there. All right, so this is how you can do that. And when it gets into labeling when you get into labeling of all of these items in there, you can actually label every single thing in there. So what you can do is you can just click on this alphabet in this modify tab, or you can click on this huge alphabet A in there for your text. All right, so you can just click on that, and you are spoiled with just a minimum number of choices in there with all of these numbers. So you can just probably choose any of them in there. So you can just go in for the 2.5 mm aerial, or 3.5 aerial, f or 5 mm aerial as well. So you can just select any of them, and you can just make sure you can also make sure you select a leader in there. So you can just select this in there, and you can just click in there. So let me just escape out of there. Just click on this and make sure you select the leader, and you can just start somewhere around here. Now with this, is going to be also giving me the choice to be able to break that line. With this, it's just going to be straight out in there, so I can just go straight, and then I can label whatever I have in there. So I'm going to call this wall. All right, so you can just label this what you have in here, but with this you have the choice to be able to break this and break it somewhere around here. All right, so you can bring it somewhere also around here, and you can just call it your reinforced floor slab. Reinforced floor slab in there. All right, so we have this reinforced floor slab, and you can keep this in the notes created elements are visible in section. All right, so you just need to make sure all of this are visible in there. So you can just come in here and then bring this out in here, and let me just call this a slab in there, and just hit on OK, and then you can finish this in there. It's always going to be visible inside of the callout margin. All right, so you need to make sure you extend that anytime you are writing. Otherwise, when it goes beyond this imaginary line, it's not going to be visible. That's the error I had in here. Right, so you need to make sure you extend this a little bit, so you have the privilege of writing all of those stuff in there. So you notice when I extended that, this is now tend to be visible. This is now being visible in there. Initially it wasn't visible, but if I should reduce that in there and select this and reduce that, you notice is now gone out in there. But if I should extend this, it's now going to be visible in there. So these are some of the tricks and tips you can actually use in there to just create in your detail, and then you make sure you label them as well. Now, so this is how you can create all of these details inside of Revit as well. This is how you can do all of those details inside of your Revit software. And thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next part, and please do make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing on more tutorials like this. I'll catch you guys in the next part. Peace out.
I'm still working real hard on a Saturday. A future I don't see from a mile away.